Hello students, today we are going to see the elastic load balancer. So what is elastic load balancer? What is the main function of elastic load balancer? The main function is to help manage and control the flow of inbound request destined to a group of target by distributing this request evenly across the targeted resource group. It acts as traffic cop. That means, in short, if we want to say what is load balancer, it actually distributes the traffic, which is incoming traffic, across the targeted resource group. What is this targeted resource group? This targeted resource group could be a EC2 instance. Okay, it can be a container, it can be an IP addresses, or it can be a lambda function. So across this, load balancer actually distributes the traffic. So we have seen the target groups could be EC2 instances, lambda functions, range of IP addresses, or containers. So this target could be situated across different availability zone or all placed within a single AZ. Here we are going to consider one example. Suppose you have just created a new application which is currently residing on a single EC2 instance. This is your EC2 instance. Okay, and this EC2 instance are being accessed by a number of users. Let's consider here are the users who can access this EC2 instance. So this EC2 instance are used by multiple users. So if this is the structure of your environment, so what could be the challenges you can face? So first thing is, if suppose this instance fail and your application will be down, then the user cannot access the application or your EC2 instance. The second challenge could be, suppose there is a sudden spike in traffic and your instance may not be able to handle the additional load based on its performance limitation. So this could be the second challenge. So what you could do to overcome these challenges? So to overcome these challenges, we could have elastic load balancer. This is your elastic load balancer. We can call it as ELB. Okay, ELB. And now the users, if user want to access this EC2 instance, there will be multiple EC2 instances. Here are the multiple EC2 instances, and the elastic load balancer will help you to direct the traffic to these EC2 instances. And here are the users. Let's see, this are the users. So now this ELB will act as the point for receiving incoming traffic coming from the user and evenly distributes the traffic across the instances available. Okay, this ELB, elastic load balancer, is highly available, and this is a managed service provided by AWS. So you cannot think of this ELB going down because this is a highly available and managed service by AWS. This will be taken care, ELB availability will be taken care by AWS. Now if suppose any of this instance, suppose let's see this instance fails, okay, then what will happen? The ELB, elastic load balancer, will direct the traffic firstly it will detect that this instance is failed due to some reason. That fail, how we can call this instance as fail, that metric we are going to define when we are actually setting up this environment. So it will check on the basis of the metric whether this instance is failed or not. If metric says that this instance is failed, then whatever the request coming from the users, that request will be directed to this healthy instances, you can say, or available instances. Okay, so this, like, this is the fault tolerance feature available. If one instance fail, then nothing will happen to your service. Other instances will provide the service and user will get the service. If suppose there is a sudden spike in the traffic coming from the user, then what it will do, ELB will automatically distribute this traffic to all the available instances. Okay, so if we have seen what could be the use of ELB, so can we list down what are the advantages of ELB? The first two I have already mentioned. The first advantage is this is managed by AWS, so you don't need to take care of anything because this ELB will be managed by AWS. Okay, second thing is this is highly available service. Okay, so availability is the responsibility again of AWS. Third advantage is listed in the name only, elastic load balancer. What is elastic? Elastic means it will automatically scale to meet your incoming traffic as the incoming traffic scales both up and down. Based on the traffic which is coming, it will scale up and scale down. So here we are going to see the same example, but we want to see what is front end and what is back end. So this is your ELB, elastic load balancer. So this is from user side, the requests are coming, so this is called as front end. So elastic load balancer can be of two type, like it can be internal elastic load balancer or it can be internet facing elastic load balancer. Internet facing means it has the, it can transfer, it can get the traffic from the end users, and it will evenly distribute this traffic among the all the available EC2 instances or the available targets. So this is internet facing, that is front end, and this is back end. So this is called as back end servers or back end. Okay, now here we are going to see the types of elastic load balancers. So AWS basically provides you three types of elastic load balancers. First type is called as application load balancer, second is called as network load balancer, and third is called as classic load balancer. So the first one is elastic application load balancer. So this load balancer operates at the request level. That means this operates at this level 7, and the protocol it supports are HTTP and HTTPS. Suppose you are hosting some site and the server is available on AWS cloud, then this application load balancer will help you to direct the traffic to the different servers. Okay, so this, what is the features? This is a flexible application management. It has advanced load balancing of HTTP and HTTPS traffic. Second load balancer which is available is network load balancer, which is also called as NLB. So this load balancer actually directs the traffic to the as per targets are here, not the EC2 instance. Here the targets are ranges of IP addresses. So one more thing you need to remember, here it will going to direct the traffic based on private IP addresses. So only private IP, like if it is distributing the request, that will be based on private IPs. Okay, it operates at connection level. This is level 4. The protocol it supports are TCP, UDP and TLS. So third kind of load balancer is classic load balancer. So this application load balancer is established in 2016. Before 2016, there were only two kinds of load balancer: network load balancer and classic load balancer. So there is a but classic load balancer is a previous generation load balancer. Like it operates at both the level 4 also and level 6 also. That means you can say it operates at both request level also and connection level also. Okay, so fourth and seventh. Now what uh, protocols it supports HTTP, HTTPS, TCP, SSL. Then it is for existing application that was built within the Amazon EC2 classic network. So basically we have seen there are three types of elastic load balancer: ALB, application load balancer, network load balancer and classic load balancer. And we have also seen where they operate, at what level they operate. So ALB operates at level 7, layer 7, NLP at layer 4 and classic layer 4 and 7 both. So till now we have seen about elastic load balancer. Now here you can see elastic load balancer works in a region. So it is a regional service, you can say. So in a region, if you will be having what multiple availability zone, and each availability zone you can create multiple subnets. Okay, so let's suppose here you have created multiple subnets. So this is your subnet 1, suppose, and this is your subnet 2. Okay, so here in this subnet you will be having, here in this availability zone, suppose you have three subnets, 1, 2, and suppose this web server comes under one subnet. So this three subnets you have. So what is this load balancer can only associate it with one subnet in each AZ. Like from this two you can only associate it either from this subnet or this subnet, and from this three you can associate it with only one subnet. One more thing, this is network elastic load balancer. But what if you have application elastic load balancer? In application elastic load balancer, which protocols listener will listen? The the protocol which is used in application load balancer is HTTP and HTTPS. Suppose you have a website hosted on Amazon and then you are requesting for one page, then this you will be actually requesting, you either requesting in HTTP or HTTPS. So that is, this request will be coming to this Amazon server, or you can say this elastic load balancer, and then it will be directed to the one of the server which is present. Like this will evenly distribute the traffic among the available targets. So the target could be in application elastic load balancer will be EC2 instance. Okay, so if we consider EC2 instance, so this you might be knowing that if I'm creating EC2 instance, if the EC2 instance need to get the traffic and send the some response on the internet, then only we may require the public IP address. Not every time for EC2 instance we require a public IP, but every time when you create a EC2 instance, it will, the private IP address will be allocated to each of the EC2 instance. Okay, so suppose if we have 10 EC2 instance over here. Okay, so for elastic load balancer, for application elastic load balancer, we not always require all the EC2 instance to be associated with elastic load balancer. From 5, from 10, we may require only 5. Okay, so this 5, only for this 5, the request, if HTTP or HTTPS request is coming for this 5 target, then only the request will be coming from this elastic load balancer. For other, it will not be coming through this elastic load balancer. Okay, one more thing, if this elastic load balancer has IP which is public IP, suppose, okay, then, and if I want to ping this IP from my current PC, then it is possible for me, the which protocol I will be using, if I ping this IP, I will be using ICMP protocol, then this is not comes under application elastic load balancer, because application elastic load balancer will be only going to listen which two protocol, HTTP and HTTPS. So it will not, if the traffic is for ICMP packet, then again this traffic will not come from this elastic load balancer. It will directly come from, without coming from elastic load balancer. Okay, so this is some basic about elastic load balancer. Now we have to see the components of elastic load balancer. So these are the components of elastic load balancer. The first component which we are going to see here is listener. For every load balancer, you must configure at least one listener. The listener defines how your inbound connections are routed to your target groups based on ports and protocols set as condition. Okay, that this listener will be actually defining how your inbound connections are routed, and this will be done through these rules and the conditions specified inside the rules. You can see here two listeners are available, at least one should be there. Here we are having two. The next component of elastic load balancer is target groups. What is target group? Is a group of your resources that you want your ELB to route request to. That means you can configure your ELB with a number of different target groups, each associated with a different listener configuration and associated rule. You can easily see here in the diagram there are 3 targets group available, and in each of this target group is associated with one listener. Okay, and inside the target group there is the target present. What could be the target here? In load balancer I've already specified what is target. Target could be EC2 instance, elastic compute cloud, and then it could be lambda function, it could be ranges of IP addresses, it could be the container. So this could be the target, and the target groups are nothing but a group of this target will be called as target groups. Now one thing which we need to understand is the rule. Inside the rule you will be actually defining the multiple condition, and based on this condition, if these conditions are true, then only the traffic will be directed to the particular target groups. Let's understand this by this. Here you can see this is your elastic load balancer. Okay, this elastic load balancer has two listeners. But what is the minimum condition for elastic load balancer? At least one listener is necessary. So it can have one or more listener. Each listener must have at least one rule, or it can have more than one rule. Each rule must have one condition. It can also have more than one condition, and each condition will result in one action. So here you can see this example. First is listener. In listener there will be rule. Inside the rule there will be single or multiple condition, and the condition will result you to get your particular action. Then we'll understand this more by one example. So let's see the example. Here you can see this is the rule written. So listener will actually listening to the incoming traffic. After it listens to the incoming traffic, it will go to the rule. This is the rule specified. Okay. And inside the rule, these are the two conditions specified. This is the condition 1 and this is the condition 2. The first condition is source IP is 10.0.1.0/24 if it is the source IP, and the second condition is HTTP request method is put, and if this is the second condition, if both the conditions satisfy, then what actions need to be taken? The action need to be taken is forward to the group 1. So if the incoming traffic is from source of this IP and it is HTTP request method with put, then it will be forwarded to the group 1. So what could be the use cases of elastic load balancer? So the use cases of elastic load balancer, the first use case is access through a single point. So whatever type of load balancer you are using, you are actually making a single point access to the targets which you have defined. The next use case is decouple application environment. Here you are actually allowing the application to not to couple tightly. The next use case is provide high availability and fault tolerance. Here we have already seen in the previous slides that it provides high availability and fault tolerance because you keep your targets in different availability zone, and if any of the target is not healthy or fails, then the ELB will not direct the traffic to that unhealthy instance or unhealthy target. It will direct the traffic to the healthy instances and the targets. So it is the feature, the two main feature which ELB provides is high availability and the fault tolerance. The next use case of ELB is increased elasticity and scalability. Using this, the elasticity, if the load is increased on your servers, that can be easily managed through the ELB. This, if you want to scale up, that can also be managed with the minimum requirements. The classic load balancer use cases are, firstly, what is classic load balancer? It is the previous generation load balancer. So the use cases are again access servers through the single point. Here you can define the different protocols. It works at level 4 also, it works at level 7 also, right? So it is a single point for the particular protocols which you are going to define here. Next is decouple the application environment. Like I already said to you that load balancer can be internet facing load balancer or it can be internal load balancer. So actually if you can have this kind of decoupling based on internet facing or whether it is internal load balancer. Now it again provide the feature of load balancer which is high availability and the fault tolerance, and it is very easy to maintain the elasticity and scalability using classic load balancer. Here we are going to see the application load balancer features. So there are this number of features available. First, it can have path or host based routing. It has native support for IPv6 IP addresses support. You can actually dynamically request for the ports. Additional supported request protocols is also available. Deletion protection and request tracking is available, enhanced metrics and access logs. Also, target health checks is available in application load balancing. There are a number of scenarios in which you would use the application load balancer. One, ability to use containers to host your microservices and route to those applications from a single load balancer. The application load balancer allows you to route different requests to the same instance, but the different paths based on the port. If you have different container listening on various ports, you can set up routing rules to distribute traffic to only the desired backend application. There are multiple containers running on a single VM, and you are actually distributing the traffic based on the ports. So here is one use case of application load balancer. So the use case for network load balancer are network load balancers are optimized for sudden and volatile traffic patterns. We already know that load balancer can access the targets from different availability zones. So here in network load balancer, you actually give a single static IP address to each availability zone. This network load balancer is ideal for applications that require extreme performance. Network load balancer handles millions of requests with low latencies. Elastic load balancer for monitoring, it gives you by default some metrics. The metric is the one of the metric is you can view hypertext protocol response. What is the response came for HTTP protocol? You can actually see what are the numbers of healthy hosts and what are the numbers of unhealthy hosts, and this you can filter based on availability zone. And if you are using multiple load balancer, based on the particular load balancer, how many healthy and unhealthy nodes are available, you can filter. Now to check whether the host is healthy or whether host is unhealthy, what load balancer do is they load balancer periodically sends for the desired protocols. Like if it needs to check whether the EC2 instance is healthy or not, what it will do is it periodically ping the particular EC2 instance, and if response comes from that particular EC2 instance, it will be marked as healthy. If it is not getting the response from that EC2 instance, it will be marked as unhealthy. And if the host is marked as unhealthy, actually you are configuring this systems or the instances in this way. If it is unhealthy, you will relaunch the instance, you will terminate and you will again launch it and make it healthy and available. But during this time when it will not be it is unhealthy and it is not available for service, at that time the load balancer will not actually directing the traffic to that particular target. It will only direct the traffic to the healthy hosts. So here we have seen about load balancers. So to sum up this, there are three types of load balancer: application load balancer, network load balancer, and classic load balancer. Also there are different components of load balancer like listener, rule, target groups, healthy and unhealthy hosts. So thank you.